My name is Saba Husain. My career has been quite varied. I started off working in the civil service, making videos and stuff, so behind the camera. And a lot of the stuff that I enjoyed was the parts of the job that involved meeting people all around the UK. So I would go with politicians, with ministers, and we would see people who had various issues and speak to them or tell them how we were improving things. Go to the openings of, like go to a sausage factory or the opening of some kind of event. So I really enjoyed the storytelling part of that. And then I started doing stand-up comedy, and I found a kind of thread there, right? That's then me telling stories. And often those stories have come about because I've been listening to something someone says down the pub and they say, "You're writing this down, you've got to say it on stage." Things like that. So I'm a storyteller myself, and then I was asked to get involved with Skin Stories, and it just seemed like a really perfect fit for me to be able to just hear more stories. Yeah, so my experience with my skin in recent times has been a totally easy ride. I haven't really had any issues. But as a child, so when I was born 7.5 weeks premature, and as a baby, my grandma said, "You came out looking like a tomato." I was just totally covered in eczema. And I had loads and loads of different treatments, creams, and nothing seemed to do the trick. The doctors just kept saying to me, "Hopefully she'll grow out of it." And luckily I did grow out of it, but it's not very heartening to hear that when you go to the doctor. They're like, try this, or maybe you'll grow out of it. So the only time I've had a flare-up has been during COVID. I got eczema on both of my little fingers, and then it started to spread across my hand. And I did feel a little bit anxious that maybe I'd had my 10 free years of no eczema and it was going to return. But I managed to stave it off with some of the creams that I'd originally been, so like steroid creams, which I don't feel great about using, but I used those and I thought a bit more about what I was putting in. You know, maybe diet was flaring it up, maybe if I didn't do this. And so it's gone. Listening to people's stories today has been like phenomenal. It's been really, really interesting. People have been so open and generous with their stories. I think we've hit on some key themes throughout, which is that we all agree that there's no such thing as perfect skin. Everybody is affected in some way at some point by this, and we all want things to be different. So I think that in our personal lives, we know maybe to communicate in a better way about skin, but maybe we can take that into our professional lives, whatever they may be. So Jamie was talking about the role of a creative, or like if you're in casting, it's on you. You have the power to change how we perceive skin by casting someone who maybe has like quote unquote like bad skin, or skin that they normally would get retouched. Let's not retouch it. And so I feel really positive that the possibilities are actually really great. The power of community. I think in every session that we've had today, it all comes down to like what has made someone feel better. Because it isn't that their skin condition has gone away a lot of the time. A lot of the time they have to realise, I might have to live with this. The thing that is giving people hope is realising that other people are feeling like this and talking about it. So it's okay to sit at home and say, well, I'm sure someone else has eczema. No, seeing people that have eczema, speaking to them, hearing, oh, I keep my cream in the fridge too, so that when you put it on, it's really cool. Like, if you know, right? And it's been the same thing today. People talking about feeling so isolated, didn't know that anyone else was suffering, finding out that other people were, talking to them, and then the problem is almost removed.